everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So it is the start of a new month, the last month of the year, yeah. And I am going to be starting at a total of 171,000 stitches even, so that will make it easy for me to know exactly how much I got done this month. Because, yeah, I was able to stop on a nice round number, so. Yeah, and I'm thinking I may get this pass completed by the end of the year. There are less than 8,000 stitches left. So yeah, I'm thinking that might be doable. Last month I managed almost 12,000. The month before was around 9, I believe. So yeah, but as I said, it is the holidays. So, you know, there's other stuff going along that does eat into my stitching time. So we'll see. But if that's the case, that will mean I have finished the pass in 4 months because I started at beginning of December, so that would be pretty cool. And then I have 4 left to go. The last one is a little shorter than the others because it didn't divide perfectly into 60 rows. So yeah, I think the last one's like 58 or something like that. So yeah, we will see what I get done. Yeah, we are definitely in winter now. We got a foot of snow a couple days ago, and the temperature is now consistently 20 Celsius below freezing, so minus 20 Celsius around there. So yeah, it's cold. So yeah, we were spoiled for quite a while. The weather was extremely mild for very late in the year for us. Usually we have snow before Halloween. It may not always stick, but yeah, we didn't have any until well after, until mid-November, and then it was just a little bit. So yeah, we will see though. The real cold hits January, February, so yeah, I often say that's when we pay for it. So yeah, we will see. Yeah. So I have switched to my smaller frame. I usually stitch on an 11 by 17. I've switched to my 11 by 11 since, yeah, it's, I'm coming to the end of the pass, so I was running out of fabric on that right-hand side to clamp into the frame, so I had to switch to a smaller one. So yeah, I reached over 55% the last month. So yeah, we will see. I managed almost 3%, I believe. I'll have to look again at my stats, but I think it was something like that. So yeah, that was pretty nice. So if I can manage to keep to 4 months per pass, that means I still have over a year worth left. Yeah, I would say 15 months since the last pass is not as big as the others. So that would put me into sometime into 2026 to be done. So yeah, we'll see. Actually, I'm going to do a bit more halves and come back up because I want the thread to be up there. So yeah, we're adding more feathers. This is sort of, I think the edge of the tail is right about here. And then we will be working into the flowers that are along the garden wall. So. Yeah, this project has been stitching up pretty quickly, I say. Well, it's not as confetti intense as the first project I did on this channel, which was the Soulful Mediterranean Tranquility. That was extremely, it was like unrelenting throughout the whole thing, yeah. But I definitely was happy with the end result, so it was worth it. That detail, yeah. Yeah, so I mentioned the Heaven and Earth Design Stitch Along. And yeah, I was mistaken. You don't actually have to stitch any of it. You get the one chart that you chose, you get the whole thing. Yeah, but if you manage 6 pages, then you get, I think, all of them. And if you complete it, you also get credits for like 2 free patterns as well that were not in the stitch along. So yeah, I'm not doing it because none of the patterns in the stitch along were ones that I felt, ooh, I have to have them. But that's the thing, is they are only going to be available through the stitch along. So yeah, if you like the patterns, then yeah, even if you don't plan to actually complete any of it, it will you know, be worth it. And they said it is Pattern Keeper compatible, so even though they send you, you know, a few pages and then, you know, later on a few more pages and stuff, it's all compatible. Yeah, you export from the first one and then you import your progress on the next one, and it will all be you know, stuck together properly. So, and so on. So yeah, I'm not sure about any apps for Apple, although they might be, so that would be something you'd have to ask them. But I do know that for Pattern Keeper they are. They said they've made them compatible, since yeah, so many people absolutely love that app. I certainly do. Yeah. I said that Pattern Keeper almost doubled my stitching output because I no longer have to manually search for symbols, highlight with highlighters, look for the color key. Yeah, so yeah, so I've got kind of, I'm going to work down to, there's another feather that forms down lower, but I'm just going to kind of stick to this and above for now, and then I'll fill in lower down on the piece later. So yeah, we put up our Christmas tree on the weekend, on Saturday. Yeah, we do the fake tree. I used to do real trees, but then yeah, the year I was in an apartment building, you weren't allowed to have real trees because of the potential fire hazard, because, you know, people let them die and then they're extremely flammable. And yeah, so my husband, who was then my fiance, said, you know, well, we have to have a tree. So we went and bought a fake one, and then sort of it's been like, well, we already have the tree, so I'm too cheap to go and buy a real one. Yeah, I might one day, but I still have the stand to hold the real tree. So yeah, but yeah, when our son was little, I remember we went to Christmas service and they had real trees, and he was like 1.5, and he was running around smelling them all because he was fascinated, because our tree doesn't have a smell, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I really like this 14 count. I have a couple projects on 18 count, but I am not going to do 18 count anymore after this. Yeah. My eyesight is just, it's not good. I need magnification even for 18 count, so yeah. So I can make it work. I'm not going to abandon it, but I'm not going to buy any more 18 count after that because, yeah, I just don't enjoy it as much. I have to use reading glasses sort of on top of my regular ones. And yeah, it is. I tried a clip-on magnifier, but I didn't like it. I like to bring my work really close, like to my face, and so my breath would fog up the magnifier. If I had it further away so that I didn't, then my neck was sort of at an awkward angle, and yeah, it gave me neck strain, so it just was not for me. So then, yeah, it was someone who said they used reading glasses. Even though they wear glasses, they just wear them over top, and I thought, well, why don't I try that? And it worked, so yeah. Yes, it may look a little silly, but it works. Yeah, I know they make these special ones called craft optics, which are glasses, and then they have magnifiers that you flip down over top, almost like what a surgeon uses. But yeah, I went and looked into them, and they are pricey, so yeah, I am too cheap for that. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, at the time of this filming, Canada Post is still on strike. So, yeah, I'm hoping it will end soon. I was curious and looked it up, and apparently the longest strike in history for Canada Post was in 1975, went on for, I think it's 6 weeks? Yeah. 2018 went on for quite a while, went for over a month. Yeah, so. Yeah, some of my bills, I still get paper ones through the mail. So, yeah, I actually had to, I went and I lined them all up to make sure I won't forget to pay them until too late, that they will not have late fees. And yeah, then I have to phone up for the balance and then pay it. I could sign up for online, I suppose, but I just have not done that yet. There. Yeah. Because, yeah, my husband said there was a message on our voicemail that our one bill was late. I said, no, it's not. And I said, but did it actually say us by name? He said, no, it was just an auto dialer. I said, they probably sent that as a blanket to everybody, just in case. But yeah, I knew ours wasn't late. I always pay on time, and I knew the due date for that, and it was a week later, so yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until the next week I've paid it, so yeah, no problem. Oh, whoops, that is in the wrong spot. Yeah, I just realized my spacing from the grid line is incorrect. Yeah. Should be right up against that grid line. So yeah, they said they're still taking the letters to Santa, because Canada Post has always done that. You send it to Santa Claus, North Pole, and then the postal code is HOHOHO, so ho ho ho. And you don't have to use a stamp, and you will get a reply back. But they said, of course, due to the strike, be prepared that the reply back will take longer than usual. Yeah. But yeah, we did that once when I was a kid. So it was fun. Actually, I think I did it a couple times. I did it once in school. It's like in grade 3 or something, yeah. Yeah, because certain things do not need a stamp. If you're writing to your MP, Member of Parliament representative, you don't have to. You don't have to pay postage. That's covered. So, yeah. But yeah, ordered my son a grad sweater. So yeah, the shipping was cha-ching. This is being sent via UPS. You couldn't get it via Canada Post parcel, which I would have preferred, but yeah. Oh well. Now, he only gets one high school graduation, right? So, yeah. Yeah, my parents wouldn't do any of that stuff. I only got a yearbook because it was included in our school fees in the high school that I graduated from, but I went to a couple before that because we moved a lot. And yeah, they refused to order yearbooks for us. Said they were too expensive. But yeah, it was one of those things you kind of wanted because you could never get them again, right? Yeah. Yeah, so kiddo's going to have, they're going to take their grad pictures in January. Yeah, and I have one grad picture, just the one free one they gave us. My parents refused to pay for those too. So, yeah, and then, oh, it was so annoying. I have no pictures from my grad ceremony because this was in the days of film cameras, and we had bought a big bulk pack of film from Costco, and they included as a bonus in the package a roll of slide film, which we did not realize that's what it was. We just, oh, grab a roll of film for the camera. So we did. And yeah, they wouldn't develop it. The camera place or the photo place said that they couldn't develop it. And so, yeah, there's absolutely no photos of my grad, no photos of me getting my diploma, no photos. I got an award and none of that. Yeah, it sucked. So I have a couple of photos from it that were taken by like the school's photographers. But yeah, other than that, I got none. So that was really disappointing. I think my parents still have that roll of film somewhere. So I don't know if I could find a photography person who could do it. My sister does do, and my cousin, they do actual film photographies like in the darkroom and everything. So yeah. But I don't know, maybe that if that film would still be any good. Like I know it does degrade over time. Because yeah, we had one time, we actually were taught to store the film in the fridge so that it would last longer. Because yeah, we had a couple times where we went and got a roll of film developed and there was maybe 3 or 4 viable pictures on the whole thing because it was really old. And even them, they were kind of washed out. Like there was a picture of my sister holding a flower and you couldn't really see like the features on her face. She just kind of looked like a silhouette. And yeah, the picture place said that it was probably old degraded film and that's why it couldn't create a sharp image. So yeah, I'm thinking, oh, that undeveloped roll of film with my grad pictures on it, who knows if it's even still any good because it's yeah, over 20 years old. Actually 25 years old now. Holy cow. Yeah, I have pictures from my prom because I bought one of those disposable film cameras, so they weren't the greatest pictures, but I do have some. And yeah, so my son's school is not doing a prom. Yeah, I guess they don't. They do a grad ceremony day and everything, but yeah, they don't do a prom. Yeah, it was funny because I still have my prom dress, and I actually tried it on when I was cleaning out my closet, and it still fits, which I did not expect it to. Yeah, it was actually a bridesmaid's dress I bought. I really like navy, It's like full length. It's backless. Yeah. I've worn it to a couple weddings since. Yeah. But it was sort of a very classic look. Yeah. Yeah, so it's like higher in the front and then but backless. So, yeah. But yeah, I was having to clean out the closet because of our renovations, because we had to put in new carpet and paint in there. So I had to take all the clothes out, and I tried everything on. Donated a bunch of stuff that no longer fit and never will, and I figured that one was going to be in that category, and then tried it on, and surprise, it actually still fit. Yeah. But yeah, like, I think 8 out of my 10 pairs of jeans had to be donated because, yeah, there is no way they're ever going to fit again. Oh, come on, knots. Don't be like that. Okay, gotcha. Excellent. I was afraid I was going to have to cut that out, but I did not. Excellent. Yeah, I hate that because usually when the knot forms, you end up having to pull back stuff you already did to get an end long enough to be able to secure it again, which sucks, but this time it was good. So, yeah, so as you can see, I'm just growing out from this edge, be working up and down along this slope here. If I could get that to cooperate with me, that is. Yeah, we had a meeting about the kids' grad ceremonies and sort of what's going to happen with all that recently, which I'm just like, how is my kid old enough for this to be a thing? Oh my gosh. It really does go by so quickly. When you're a kid, you hear adults say that, and it's like, no, it doesn't, because to you, that's your whole life, right? It's taken forever. But yeah, when you're an adult, it really does. Okay, actually. Yeah, so I can see there's the feather sort of ends here, and then there's more down there, but I'm going to stick to the ones up above. So yeah, I'm going to make my cutoff sort of right about here where the shape changes. Went through my working tray and packed away a bunch of stuff. But yeah, I can start filling it up again with new colors. Yeah, then it's going to sort of change again when I get into the flowers and out of the feathers. But yeah, I think I'm going to be working on feathers for another probably week before they are all done. At least for this pass, yeah. They're in the rest of the pattern. I think even in the very final pass, there's some there. Well, they're kind of the focal point of the whole piece, so. So I looked ahead on the calendar, and Christmas Day falls on Wednesday. So like I did in previous years, I will have a video on the next day, on the 26th, rather than on the actual day, since, hey, we're all busy, right? Hopefully having some time with people you love. Hopefully getting some time off work, although I know not all of us are that fortunate. Yeah. Yeah, my mom, she was training to be a nurse before she married my dad. And yeah, she didn't have any family near her that was viable to travel. So she would take the Christmas Day shift because you got double time and a half. So yeah. Because yeah, for those kind of things, somebody's got to work that day. Yeah, emergencies don't stop happening just because it's a holiday. In fact, in some cases, there's more of them, right? Yeah. Yeah, so I had to upgrade my computer. The old one was still working, but like my husband was worried about the fact that it was only Windows 8 and the hardware was too old to be able to update it any further, and so like for security wise, yeah. So, but yeah, he said he's gonna keep it and use it for running his drafting program, the CAD, because it's an old program, so it might not be compatible with a newer computer. So I said that's good because, yeah, like I think that computer still had another, 2 or 3 years of life in it, and I don't like wasting that. Yeah. I played games on it and they still ran pretty well. Oh, okay, I think, yes, I realize. It looks like I didn't color this one in, but I did. I did stitch it, I just forgot to color it in on the pattern. Okay, I was thinking it would be weird if I left it like that. Normally I wouldn't leave a gap like that, and yeah, I did not. I just forgot to color it in. Yeah, I was realizing that my stitching and the pattern did not match, so I had made a mistake. Fortunately, the mistake was on Pattern Keeper and not on my actual stitching because, yeah, it's much easier to fix when it's just, oh, I forgot to color that one in. But yeah, actually, setting up the new computer was actually pretty easy. I managed to do it myself, even though I am not terribly tech savvy. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Like, it's got the setup wizard that sort of guides you through all the steps. So even someone like me who's not the most technically minded person was able to manage it. Yeah, the only difficulty I really had was in getting my music to show up in iTunes. Like, so I transferred it to my new computer, but iTunes didn't want to see it because I have a lot of stuff in there that was taken off CDs I own. And so it's not like I can just re-download it, and I'm not going to pay for it again, And so that was a bit of a pain. Then I discovered you just have to make sure that you tell it what library to use. So yeah, it was one of those, I just Googled how to transfer music to new computer, and then yeah, I said you press shift and then the iTunes as you open it, and it will give you an option then to select which library file. And I had like 2 of them. First one didn't work, so I tried it again. The second one worked, and then everything showed up. All the music, all the playlists, yeah. As I said, I still own those CDs, and if I really had to, I could put them back in and recreate the playlist, but I really don't want to do that. Because yeah, I spent years adding those and creating my playlists, and that would be such a big pain. I don't want to have to do that. So fortunately I didn't. Yeah, I was getting to the point where I thought I might, but then I figured it out. Yeah, it was kind of like somebody was saying, I keep my books organized on Goodreads, because yeah, it's a really nice place to just sort of, you can see other reviews, you can see other books that same author has written. You know, I read so many books and own so many books, I can't possibly keep in my head what I own and what I don't, what I've read and what I haven't. So I use the app to help me keep all of that straight. And then somebody was saying there's a new one that came out a couple of years ago called Storygraph. And I mean, it is awesome. It has, you can add tags to a book, you can add spoiler warnings, you can add trigger warnings on there, so you can look it up if, say, there's certain stuff you want to avoid reading. They give really, you can say things like, is this book plot, character driven? Is it a mix? Just all sorts of great information like that. However, I said, I've been using Goodreads since 2010, and I am not recreating, you know, almost 15 years of data. Like, they did have an option to download it and a copy and upload it into Storygraph, and it somewhat worked, but I found a lot of the information that I had included on Goodreads did not come through. And I said, I'm not going through, yeah, thousands of books, because I have read so many, I own so many, because whenever it was free on Kindle, boom, I'd buy it because, hey, free, right? And it doesn't take up any storage space physically. So, and Amazon doesn't have like a limit on how many Kindle books you can have. So, yeah. So I have lots. So yeah, I do occasionally go in and update stuff, and it will tell you actually like sort of your mix of books between, it got lots of pie charts if you're somebody who likes that kind of stuff. So it'll tell you like, what's your percentage of fiction versus nonfiction, books that are over 500 pages versus, you know, shorter books, books that are suspenseful, funny, books that are fast-paced versus, like, basically anything you can think of, they have a pie chart for it. So that is kind of cool. Yeah. But yeah, sort of, I haven't been good about keeping up with it, so yeah, like I said, I'm not going to recreate all the data, but I mean, I can update it as I go with my current reading stuff. So yeah, so I mentioned in another video, I do the Goodreads reading challenge every year. And the last few years I've set it to 52, which is a book a week. But yeah, this year is not looking so good to make it. Yeah, I am like 39 books right now. And I do have a few that are novellas that I read every year. Christmas, there's about 5 or 6 of them. But that would still leave me short. Yeah, by a few. So we'll see. But yeah, if I don't manage it, that'll be the first time in years I didn't make, actually ever since I've been using Goodreads, I think, that I didn't make my goal. Because I started doing the reading challenge in, it wasn't 2010. I think it was 2013, maybe 2012, something like that, yeah. But yeah, I have some friends who, like, they set it to like 200, which is just wild. Yeah. And they make it too, so. But I don't know, I guess they don't stitch, right? They do nothing but read in their spare time, which I don't do, so. But yeah, it's kind of fun too, because at the end of the year, it gives you a wrap up showing all the covers and stuff, which is kind of cool. So you can have a, I always share it as a little visual overview of your whole year. And it will even tell you like which book was the longest book you read, which was the shortest book, what was the average number of pages in a books that you read. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm not a math person, but I am in numbers when it comes to stats, you know. I always find those interesting. I like data. Like I said, I keep a spreadsheet for my cross stitch. So it tells me my completion, estimated completion times, depending on how many stitches I set as a goal for the day. Yeah. And at the end of the every month, I kind of update it and take a look and see what the new estimate for it to be done is, because of course that changes from when I first started the project, depending on how much I've managed to get done. So yeah, a bit confetti heavy here, so I am finally going to pass 100. That took longer than it usually does for me. Yeah, and also I've been saying too that I've been watching figure skating, which I can't stitch when I watch that, so yeah, the Grand Prix final is coming up, beginning of December. That's, darn it. You would not up right then, huh? Yeah, that's when the top 6 in each discipline only get to compete. There we go. So yeah, qualifying for the Grand Prix final is a big deal. Even if you come in last, it's still a big deal. It means you're one of the top 6 in the world, so yeah. And this is the year before the Olympic year, so yeah, they said it also makes a big deal of how many spots get to qualify for the world and Olympic teams coming up too, so. Because yeah, the top countries get to do up to 3 spots. And that's especially a big deal if you're from a country that has a big depth in figure skating talent, like say Japan. Yeah, they said you can be somebody who has won international competitions more than once and yet still not be able to make the world or Olympic team because you're only 6th in Japan or something. Yeah, because they said in Japan, figure skating is like hockey is to Canada, or yeah, baseball is in the US. I guess that would be footy to the Aussies, right? Oh, there's already one parked there. Oh, I forgot to mark it. Okay, that's all right. I should have paid a little closer attention. All right, save this piece again for later. That's as far down as that goes, yeah. Actually, I suppose I can park this up here. It's close enough. Yeah. just do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go right up into this corner here and start filling out from there. All right. Yeah, so this is the edge of the feather there. This is the bit of the wall. So yeah, we're just about done. The feathers, that is the outside edge of the peacock's tail there. So yeah, I think I hadn't reached pretty much any of the peacock's tail at the beginning of last month, I think, and then yeah, I almost completed it within a month, which is quicker than I expected to get it done. As you can see, I'm kind of right up against my edge of my frame there, so that makes this a little tougher to maneuver around, which is another reason why I like to do pin stitches. I find I don't need as much space to thread the needle across the back, because yeah, especially when you're right up against the edge of the frame there, can get very awkward. Yeah, and there's cloth sort of right here rolled up from the top. That's kind of in my way, so. Yeah, so there's one floss tuber I follow, Nicola, simply a stitcher. She said she set herself a goal of 500,000 stitches in a year. Yeah, which is over 1,000 a day. She said she averages over 1,000 a day already. So this is like, I think it was like 1,300 a day, but yeah, like, I am blown away by that, because I have only managed 1,000 in a day a handful of times. And often when I did it that way, I overdid it, and then I had to rest afterwards because my arms were burning. So yeah. So yeah, I'll be excited to see if she can manage it, because that would be really, really impressive. I would love if I could stitch that fast. Imagine how many projects you could get done. Yeah, she said not on a single project, across all of her projects, but yeah. Yeah, my husband said, because how many do you manage? I said, oh, 400 to 500. Yeah, is my average. I say 400 is what I usually go by, because that accounts for the days I can't stitch as well, right? Because, yeah, that's about 12,000 stitches in a month. That sounds about right. 12 to 15,000, yeah. And that's been about correct across a couple of projects. So yeah, mine is like 150,000 versus 500,000. So, but I'll take it. It's not too shabby, in my opinion. Yeah, so like I said, this green is the very edge of the feathers there. Yeah, there's more of the orange on that side, but that's the orange from the window and not from the feathers. Pardon me. Yeah, so Kiddo is now driving in the snow in his Jeep. He says it handles pretty good, so glad to hear that. My husband says you have more control with a manual, but yeah, I do not drive one, so yeah, to me it's just that's extra thinking I gotta do that I don't wanna. But yeah, I have online friends who, like, there's one who said it was much harder to get her license because in her country you're required to pass the test on a manual. Yeah. And not an automatic, so yeah, I'm like, well, I'd be hooped then. Yeah, the idea is that if you can drive a stick, then you can drive anything, right? But yeah. Yeah, my kiddo passed his test on the automatic. He used my vehicle, and then he learned the stick later. Yeah. But yeah, we had people ask, like, so why did you want that? He said, well, then I can drive anything, right? You could drive classic cars, yeah. Oh, goodness. There. Okay. Just making sure I'm in the correct big square. Wait a minute, there's green there. That can't be right because, yeah, where I'm supposed to be stitching is not green. That meant I had lost my way. So yeah, so you can see lots of pin stitches here, but then they all get stitched over, so then the back looks neater than it does right now. Plus, it secures them a little extra by being sewn over and through. Yeah. Hmm. So I'm gonna bring the thread up and then back down. That way I don't have to add multiple threads with this color just yet. I don't mind doing that, but when it's possible to avoid it, then I do. Okay, so I think, yeah, I'll carry this thread up and park it, and then that's where I'm gonna take a break for today. Yeah, so pretty happy with that progress that I made today. I think that's where I'm going to take a break. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you here next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.